I like dividends because they are the most passive of passive income. They are halal to earn so long as the company making the dividend payments is halal to own. To receive dividends, all you need to do is own shares in the company that is paying them. That's it. However, like approaching your target Habibti's dad to ask for her hand in marriage, you need money. How much money you need is going to largely depend on something called the dividend yield, which is basically the amount of dividends that a company pays out in a year divided by that company's share price. By the way, if you enjoy this type of content, you appreciate it, then do leave a like. I really appreciate that. So how do we reach $1,000 per month in after-tax passive dividends from owning dividend-paying stocks? All right, guys, so here is the handy spreadsheet that I created that you can get access to by just leaving your email in the form I linked to in the description. This spreadsheet will help you figure out how much you need in terms of dividend yield, how much you need in terms of monthly contributions to your dividend portfolio in order to reach your goals for passive income from dividends. So let's assume that we started off with a $20,000 balance. That's how much you have available to start your dividend portfolio with. Let's assume your dividend yield is, let's give it 4.5%. Your tax rate, it's going to be anywhere from 0 to, I'd say, 30% on the high end on those dividends. So 0 if you're in a tax advantaged account, 15% if you're able to pay, at least this is in the United States, long-term capital gains tax, or 30% if you are paying just income tax on it, on the dividends that is. So let's go with 15%, middle of the road here, annual stock price appreciation, let's say 8%. So basically it's following what the market does, and then you're contributing $1,500 per month. So we'll actually get to the target of ours of after-tax dividend of $12,000 annually in 10 years. So we'll have $1,000 after-tax dividends completely passively that is hitting our investment account. And let's say we do this for 20 years. Let's say we don't stop at 10, we just continue for 20 years. We are reinvesting our dividends. We are investing consistently, $1,500 per month, every month during this period. We end up with a pretty good situation where we have around $50,000 in after-tax money that is being generated from our dividend portfolio every year. And basically $4,000, $4,100 in just free and clear after-tax, completely passive income that we're earning. So this is something that you can do that will basically make you financially free. Now, regardless of what your number is, you can use this calculator to figure out what your portfolio needs to look like. And now that we know what dividend yield we need to target, let's construct a portfolio that gives us this dividend yield. All right, so to create our portfolio, we're going to go to FinViz. Don't worry, I'll link to it in the description of this video. And what we want to do is make sure the dividend yield in our screener is set to over 4%. So it only gives us companies that are yielding a dividend that's over 4% based on their stock prices today. And then we also mentioned that we wanted the return or the amount of appreciation in our stock price to be at least 8%. So for that, let's go to return on equity and let's say the return is over 5%. They don't have over 8%. I think if you want over 8%, you have to subscribe. But 8% is over 5%, so we're going to use that. And then we want, in order to make sure that we're not receiving borrowed money, our dividends are actually profits and not borrowed money, let's go to debt to equity and make sure that it's under 10%. So we'll add that filter to our screen. And here we're going to get a list of stocks that we can choose from that meet all our criteria. Now, if you want to go through this list yourself, you can do so. Just make sure that you are avoiding, in order to keep things halal, avoid industries that are in finance, avoid obviously things like brewers and anything that you're not comfortable with from a halal perspective. And then what you want to make sure of is that the industries you choose are diverse so that the correlation between your stocks isn't too high, so that if things are going badly, not all of your companies fall in price at the same time. So you can either do it this way, or you can become a PIF member and you can follow the dividend stocks that we actually select and do the research for you and make sure that the companies that we're adding to the portfolio are quality companies that inshallah have safe dividends and will continue to grow their dividends over the years. If you want to become a PIF member, you'll find a link to become a PIF member in the description to see all of the dividend stocks that we invest in and we keep track of. We're always updating our buy and sell prices for these different stocks. All right, so once we've chosen the stocks that we want to create a dividend portfolio with, we'll go back to our spreadsheet and we have another tab called Portfolio. And in this tab, we can basically input the tickers of the stocks that we've chosen. And we'll also need to input the annual dividends for those stocks. And we'll get basically a portfolio yield. And we want to make sure that the yield of the portfolio is always above the target yield that we calculated earlier. So we want to make sure it's always above 4.5%. so that we stay on schedule to reach our goals. Now, the annual dividend, we mentioned we wanted $1,000 per month. So the annual dividends is $12,000. That's what we're targeting. Our target balance based on this portfolio yield is $242,000 because 4.95% of $242,000 is $12,000. So if we manage to get $242,000 into this portfolio, earning 4.95%, we have $1,000 in completely passive income per month. Now, I should say these names, with the exception to Novartis, are not in my PIF dividend portfolio. They're just example names. So keep that in mind. Now, let's go to our brokerage account where we're actually going to add these names to our portfolio and get us set up to start investing. I've added our 4 selected stocks into the basket here in M1 Finance. I'm going to click on Add. And there it is. There is my portfolio. I'm going to go to Continue. All right, now I have my portfolio that I can add $1,500 to every month. And if I'm consistent, I should be able to reach my goal of passive income. So depending on the brokerage that you are using, in M1 Finance, I turn on Auto Invest to make sure that my dividends are always being reinvested into the portfolio. For you, you may have something like a DRIP program, a dividend reinvestment plan for your brokerage. You want to make sure that is turned on so that anytime a company pays you dividends, you're just reinvesting that into your dividend portfolio. The final step here is that I want to set up automatic transfers from my bank account to this portfolio so that I'm consistent in investing, assuming, of course, that you have the money to actually fund these transfers. You don't want to overdraw your account. So go to Transfer. If you're using M1 Finance, there should be something similar with whatever brokerage you use. And you want to create a recurring transfer. And you want to put where the money is coming from, and then you want to put where it's going to, and then you can put basically $1,500 or whatever, and set that to monthly, set it to whichever day of the month you want it to be, and then hit Continue, Confirm, and you have your schedule created. Your monthly schedule to new portfolio has been created, done. And now all you need to do, if you're a PIF member, make sure you're following the composition of the PIF dividend portfolio, or at least use it for inspiration for your own portfolio. If you're not, you can just use the spreadsheet that I provided. Make sure that the dividend yield of your portfolio is over the target dividend yield that you set for yourself in order to reach your goals. And with that, you're set up. You're on track with your dividend investing to, inshallah, reach the 1,000 halal, completely passive income. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more. Wassalam.